Hi, welcome to this tutorial, and in today's tutorial we're going to learn how to create this corner to corner join as you go gingham blanket. So this is a baby blanket, and just to quickly show you guys, we're going to create blocks in alternating colors, and there is 10 blocks in the length as well as 10 blocks in the width, which gives us a total of 100 squares that we're going to create to have this effect. And then just a brief overview. You will see there's like this small stitch marker in here. So the stitch marker is just to remind me which is the front part of my work, my project, because every time when you create a new block, you need to make sure that you start with the right side facing you. So that's the only reason that this thing is still in here. And then also in future tutorials, when I show you how to do the border, you want to do that with the right side facing. So this one I made with DK yarn. It's a South African Ali Pure Gold yarn. In the colorways, the dark one is your military green. The medium color, this one, is your bark, and then this white color is ivory. But you can obviously use any yarn you want, any yarn whatsoever. You will just have different sizes created, but the important thing to keep in mind is that you will need 2 skeins of the dark color, 2 skeins of the light color, and 3 skeins of your medium color. So just keep that in mind when you do your color selections, that is the recommended amount of yarn that you need. So let's get straight into doing this tutorial and making this blanket. So in order to do a gingham blanket, you need at least 3 colors of yarn, preferably in the same color scheme. Like in this case, I'm going to make a gingham blanket with dark green. In this case, it's the Ali Pure Gold military color, and then a little bit lighter green, which is the bark, and I'm going to use a off-white ivory color as my light color. You're going to need 2 skeins of 100 gram each. In this case, it's about 258 meters in length. Gonna need 2 balls of the white, in this case ivory, 2 balls of the dark, and 3 balls of the medium color, which in this case is the bark. I'm going to move this to the side quickly. Okay. And then we're going to need a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, and a crochet hook. So in this case, we are using a DK, and as suggested on the yarn, I'm going to use a 4mm crochet hook, and I think we can get started. So the corner to corner stitch is very easy. The introduction to this is similar to all the other crochet project. We're going to start with a slip knot, and we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in this case, we're just, for starters, going to count the first 3 chains as our double crochet. stitch, and that will be 1, 2, 3. So we're going to make a double crochet stitch into the 4th chain from the hook. So we're going to yarn over, we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need to go into this chain here, going to yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So there we have our first double crochet stitch. If we add the 3 chains, that leaves us with 2 stitches. We're going to do another 2. So we're going to yarn over and go into the second last chain, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Going to yarn over, put our hook into the last chain, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Going to chain 6 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again the first 3 chains we're going to count as our first stitch, and we're going to make another double crochet or a DC. Going to yarn over, we go into the 4th chain from the hook. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Going to do another one into the next chain, yarn over and pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then the last one goes into this very first chain that we made. Going to make another DC. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a slip stitch into this space here of the 3 chains in the beginning. I'm going to put our hook through that space, yarn over, pull through, as well as pull through the loop on the crochet hook. Now we're going to chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to make in the same space here another 3 double crochet stitches. So that's yarn over, put the hook into that loop, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 1. Let's make 2 more. Okay. So for a gingham blanket, we always start with the medium color. I prefer to start with the medium color. So now we're going to chain 6 again. So as you guys can see now, we're going to grow by chaining 6. We're going to start our new row, and then we're going to get here, and we're going to chain 6, and we're going to start a new row again. So this blanket is going to grow in this direction. Let's do another row, and you'll see even clearer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chains, and we do a DC into the 4th chain from the hook. So it's yarn over, 1, 2, 3, 4, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. To the next one as well, and again into this last one. So you're creating small miniature blocks of 4 stitches. Okay, we're going to slip stitch into this space here of this 3 chains that we created here in the previous round. Yarn over and pull through both, then we chain 3, 1, 2, 3, we make 3 DC stitches into this 3 chain space. Just get closer to the camera. Okay, then we make a slip stitch into this 3 chain space here, yarn over and pull through both, chain 3, make 3 double crochet stitches. Okay, now we want to grow again, so we're going to 1 2 3 4 5 6, and then we do a DC in the 4th chain from the hook. Okay, so that's 1 2 3 4. I've already yarned over. I'm putting my hook through the chain, yarn over and pulling it through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I'm going to repeat this twice again. Okay, into this 3 chain space we make a slip stitch and we chain 3. I'm going to finish this round, and then actually let me do the full round with you guys. It's short rounds. I'm going to do 3 double crochets, slip stitch into this 3 chain space, chain 3, 3 double crochets to this space, chain 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So even if you're not doing a gingham corner to corner join as you go like we're doing here, if you are doing a normal corner to corner blanket, you will just continue increasing every time you start a new round until you've reached your desired length and height of your blanket, and you will then start decreasing again, which I will show you guys shortly. I'm just going to start this new round again, and then I'm going to get to a certain length and height that we want to achieve for our gingham, and I'll show you guys how to decrease. So let's just turn around here and start this new round. We've yarned over and we have to go into the 4th chain from the hook. That's 1 2 3 4. Putting our hook in, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Second DC, and our last DC goes right into that first chain we made. Okay, we turn the work and we slip stitch into this 3 chain space. 1 2 3 chains and then 3 DCs. So I will catch up with you guys as soon as I've reached my desired length and height. Okay, so for my gingham blankets that I make, I create individual blocks of 6 miniature blocks or 6 rounds on this corner to corner squares. So if you guys will count with me, let me show you how. This first block here is 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so if I count upwards, it's 1 2 3 4 5, which means that this last block that I'm creating here is going to be the last increase. So let's finish off, and then that's one more DC that we need to do. Now instead of chaining 6 again like we did with the increase, we need to slip stitch our way back to this 3 chain space. We're going to turn our work, we're going to do slip stitches. Let's just do this neater. Slip stitches in here, slip stitches in there, into the last DC, then another slip stitch into the 3 chain space. Now we're just going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do a DC to this 3 chain space and then 2 more. Then we're going to slip stitch into this 3 chain space here, like that. Now you guys can see we've created our corner, and we will now be busy closing off this square like this. If you were thinking of creating a rectangle, then when you get to the end here, you would just increase again by chaining 6 and making another block. And when you get back here, instead of increasing, you just decrease again, and we will then grow our corner to corner in a rectangular fashion until we are happy with the length, and then you would close your corner as we are doing now. So for a square, you grow until you are happy with the length and the width, and then we decrease. For a rectangle, you will grow on the one side and decrease on the other side. There's a lot of tutorials on YouTube on how to create all sorts of different shapes of corner to corner projects. So I'm just going to get to the end of this round, and I'll show you guys how to decrease on the other side as well. Chain 3, and then we do 3 double crochets into each loop, slip stitch, chain 3, 3 double crochets, so because we're already on 6 this side as well, we're not going to create a block at the top of this one. We're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we don't want number 7 on top here. So we're going to slip stitch into the space here. We do it neatly. That's so. I'm going to turn our work, and we're going to slip stitch into each double crochet until we get to the 3 chain space. I'm going to chain 3, then we're going to do 3 double crochets into the 3 chain space as well. And slip stitch to the 3 chain space. As you guys can see, we are now creating the last side of our square. So this is not looking very neat currently, but it will be hidden when we add our blocks into the rest of the blanket. You will not see this. I'm going to chain 3, 3 DCs, slip stitch into the 3 chain space, chain 3, 3 DCs, slip stitch. As you can see, we are getting our side of the square here, so it means this will be the last block that we do in this round. Here we go. This is our last DC, and we're going to make a slip stitch into this space here, turn our work, slip stitch, and we make our way back to this new 3 chain space. We just chain 3, do 3, and again 3 DCs into the 3 chain space. slip stitch into this corner here, chain 3, and then again we do 3 DCs. There's not a lot left to do, but I'm sure you guys get the hang of this now. I'm going to finish off with here. Slip stitch, and we are at our edge. Turn around, make our way back to the new free chain space by making slip stitches into every stitch, chain 1, 2, 3, and then we do 3 DCs. Slip stitch into this free chain space, 1, 2, 3 chains, 3 DCs into the free chain space. Again, we are on our other edge. We're going to slip stitch into this space here. We're going to turn our work, and we are left with one block and our last corner. So we're going to slip stitch, make our way to that corner, chain 1, 2, 3, gonna make 3 DCs into this free chain space. I'm going to make a slip stitch into this free chain space again, like this, and then we're going to cut our yarn. Gonna make chain 1 and pull our yarn through. Then we've got our first square of the corner to corner corner to corner join as you go gingham blanket. So what I like to do now, just to keep track and to make my work a little bit neater, is to put a stitch marker onto this side of the work. So there's not really a right side and a front and a back side, or a right side and a wrong side when you do corner to corner crochet, but you guys will see as we continue why it's important, if you want to really create some neat work, to put in a stitch marker. So I just want to work in these ends quickly, show you guys how to do it. And yes, even though I really don't enjoy working in ends, when I do my gingham blankets, I do not continue to the next square if the previous square's ends are not worked in, because we are going to make in total 100 of these blocks with 2 tails for each block. That will leave us with 200 tails to work in once we are done. And knowing myself, it will take me longer to get the guts to start working in these ends than it did to actually create the blanket. That 200 excludes the border, obviously, so make that 202 ends we will have to work in at the end of our project. So it's not very difficult. There's lots of space here and lots of stitch bases that we can use to get rid of our tails, make sure our work doesn't unravel. I'm just going to go back onto this free chains here. I like to get to these bottoms, these bases of the stitches. So let me make my way to this one, because once you can get in here, it's quite tight and you don't see the yarn at all. Just makes it again a little bit neater. is actually enough. We don't have to work in too many ends. There we go. So now there's just 1 or 2 tricks we need to keep in mind for the join as you go method. I just want to get, I'm going to use first the dark green. What we need to do is taking our medium color, tie in with, and you can do it with the lighter color as well. It really does not matter where you start, but I would go into this change here. I don't really want to go into the gap again, just to make things a bit neater. Not always easy, but it's possible. We're just going to hook our yarn, pull it through, and then I like to do 1 single crochet over, in this case, sorry, a chain over my tail end. So what is important when we are doing this join as you go is to look at the direction of your stitches here. So if I look at this, it's going in this direction, and the best effect will be for the next block right next to it, for the stitches to go in this direction like we have here. So in order to get that done, we're going to do a little bit of a visualization exercise actually. So we got chain 1, going to do chain 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the moment I'm going to go and work back on the 4th chain of the hook, we will see that we now create our stitches in the opposite direction of this block. So just always take 2 seconds and just visualize in which direction the new stitches is going to lie. So I'm going to count. I hope you can see properly. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to just pick up my tail end and go in underneath and over it, catching it the tail as well, and then I'm going to do my double crochet. Okay, and then we're going to go into the second last chain underneath our tail, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and the last stitch as well. There we go. So now when I put the 2 next to each other, just get the hook out of the way so I can show you clearly. When I put these 2 blocks next to each other now, goodness, there you go. The direction of the stitches are going in opposite directions. The light green going in this direction and the dark green in that direction. So for the join as you go method, we are going to make a slip stitch into this space here. Slip stitch, and then in order to get from here to this space here, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to make a slip stitch into this space here on the other side of the block. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to turn our work. Yarn over, and we're going to do 3 double crochet stitches onto that space. So what I like to do to get rid of my ends and make it at least 1 less to get worked away is when I do my slip stitch into this space now, I will go underneath this tail, and when I do grab my working yarn, I just catch that tail a little bit, and I then do my slip stitch. I chain 3, and I do a DC, do more DCs. All of them are being made over the tail end. So now we are seeing we have got round 1 and 2 of the new block. So we also want this new block to be a 6 by 6, so it means we have to increase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and again we're going to put our first DC in the 4th chain from the hook, so that's 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. I know this dark color is a little bit difficult to see, so I'm bringing the work closer to you guys, or to the camera. DC number 1, DC number 2, DC number 3, into the first chain that we made. We now again turn the work, and we make a slip stitch into the 3 chain space. Okay, so the tail end is still sticking out here, so I'm just going to pull it over to this side and keep it in place with my right hand before I start my chain, so that I just capture it and I can work over the tail. So it's 1, 2, 3 chains, yarn over into the 3 chain space of the previous round. We make 1, 2, 3, 3 DCs. Okay, gonna slip stitch into the 3 chain space, chain 3, and we do 3 DCs, and again, because we are on the edge here, we're going to slip stitch in that space in between the 2 blocks of the previous round. Slip stitch, and to get to the other side of this block, I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to make a slip stitch just to get it in place. Going to chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, in order to turn and create our new round. 1, 2, 3 DCs in that space, chain 1, and so we grow our new block. Slipped up a bit, still got this small piece of tail left. Let me just pull that over and pinch it with my 2 fingers, and oops. Okay, let's do this properly. Put our hook into the 3 chain space, and then, sorry guys, like this. Let's first take our tail end across. We then put our hook into the space, make a slip stitch, and then we chain over the tail. Okay. And then we are not at the end yet, we still need to increase. So we'll make a slip stitch. We're going to chain 1, 2, 3, make 3 DCs into the same space, and then we are at 1 2 3 4, so meaning we have to make another increase, so that's 6 chains, 3 4 5 6, and we make a DC into the 4th chain from the hook. That's 1 2 3 4, slip stitch, and I'm gonna complete this round off camera. I'll see you guys at the end. Okay, so I'm at the end of this round. I've already made my 3 chains to start the next block. I'm going to make my 3 DCs into that 3 chain space. What's going on here? Okay, slip stitch into the space here, chain 3 2 3, and we make a chain into this stitch here, and this is not very easy, but it's worth it if it's a little bit neater. Slip stitch, and we're going to chain 3 1 2 3. We're going to turn our work, and we're going to start closing the second square. Okay, now I'm going to slip stitch into this one here. As you guys can see, now we're going to start closing this new block. I'm going to finish this round as well. Okay, so we're at the end of this round. I'm going to finish this block here. Okay, let's just count before we continue how many rows we got here. 1 2 3 4 5. So yes, we need to create another block on top of this one. So that's 1 2 3. And now, instead of increasing, we're just going to slip stitch our way back. Until we get to this 3 chain space. We're going to chain 3. And again, we make 3 DCs into this block. Slip stitch, and then we're going to close this block similarly to what we did for the first block. I'm going to do that off camera, and then I will meet you guys once I'm done with this dark green color. Okay, so as promised, I'm back. I've completed this dark green color as well. And what I would normally do is when I make my blankets, is to alternate between the medium and the dark, and medium dark, medium dark, until I have 10 of these blocks in a row. I would then start, and on top of this I would put my light color and then start alternating light, medium, so that I grow my blanket first in this direction and then in the height. So I first would create a base, and then I would create 10 rows of blocks. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to start already with the next block on this side. That needs to be a light color. So keep in mind, we said in the beginning, we like it when our stitches follow the directions, so you don't have a break in the alternations or alterations from the stitches in this direction, vertical, and then horizontal, vertical, horizontal. So this stitches here is in the vertical direction, which means the light color right next to it we want to have in the horizontal direction. So let's imagine we're going to connect here, going to chain 6, and we're going to turn around and we're going to create our stitches in this direction, which is opposite of this, which means we are on the correct side. Let's say, for instance, we were planning on starting on this side of our work. Let's say we were creating 6 chains, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and then we turn our work, and then we start creating stitches in this direction, horizontal, which is the same direction as these stitches. We would have had a problem. So let's go to this side, and we're going to connect. Let's find a spot in here to make it as neat as possible. We bring our yarn through, and we're going to chain 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and then we're going to yarn over so that we can do a DC in the 4th chain from the hook. 1 2 3 4, go in there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. There we have a DC. We go up, split the yarn, and there we go. We now bring it across, and we look for the space between the blocks. That's here. So we're going to go in there. I'm going to slip stitch over my tail as well. I'm going to chain 1 2 3 so that we can get to this space here. I'm going to slip stitch, I'm going to chain 3 1 2 3, and then we're going to turn around. Let's just pull this tail a little bit neater. Oh goodness, you know what, let's take the tail out. We will work it away using a needle. I'm clumsy today. Okay, that's 2 chains we have on there. Let's just make one more, turn our work, and then we're going to make 3 DCs. There we go, slip stitch into the 3 chain space, chain 3 DCs. Okay, so now we can see clearly we are growing sideways and upwards. So let's also create a block of 6 by 6 of the white or the ivory color. So that's 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 4, double crochet into that stitch. So I'm going to complete this block. I don't think you guys need to see the whole thing over again, and then once I'm done with this, I'm going to show you how to work the block that starts in the middle, and from there on you guys will be okay to continue on your own. Okay, I'm back, and we're now going to do the last block that I'm going to show you guys in detail, and that's going to be the medium color again that we're going to put in here to close our square. Once again, we got our stitch marker facing us, and we're going to just check here which direction does our stitches needs to go. So we got horizontal stitches here, vertical here, horizontal here, meaning we have to have vertical stitches as our first block here. So let's figure out if we want vertical stitches, we need to go up, and we create a block in this direction. So with our stitch marker, with the stitch marker facing us, we're going to go into this space here. I'm going to bring a loop, and we're going to chain 1. Going to do 1 2 3 chains, and we want our stitches to come down. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn our work, and I'm going to take the tail with us, tail can be facing this side, it's fine. And we're going to make a slip stitch. This is the only tricky part actually about this. I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to turn our work again. And now we're going to make 3 double crochets into this space here, working over that tail. Can you guys see that? I'm working over the tail. 2 and 3. Let me just get some more yarn here. Here we go. And then I'm going to slip stitch into this space here. So now I'm just filling up the space. So I'm going to join as I go to fill up the space. So slip stitch in here. Just chain 3. Slip stitch in this space here. Chain 3, 2, 3. Turn our work and we do 3 DCs into this space. Slip stitch. Okay, slip stitch, and then we're going to chain 3, working over our tail. Okay, 1, 2 and 3. Stuck the tail a bit. Gonna slip stitch into here. Chain 3. Slip stitch in here. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we make 3 DCs into this 3 chain space. And we're just going to continue like this until we reach this edge here and this edge here. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to show you guys how do I close. Okay, so I'm on the last block of this round. So we're going to finish this off as per normal, making 3 DCs. And then making a slip stitch into this chain here. Okay. Then we're going to slip stitch our way back like we always do. And we're just going to close off this block that we created. Okay, slip stitch. Okay, so you can see now we're creating the edge here. I already started here. When we get to the end of this, we're not going to increase again. We're going to continue decreasing to close the square. So I'm going to do this off camera. There we go. So we have now got 4 individual blocks of corner to corner that we joined as we went along. We're going to, for the baby blanket tutorial that I'm doing here, we're going to do in total 100 blocks of 10 in this direction and 10 blocks in that direction. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to complete this row all 10 blocks, and then I will complete this row all 10 blocks, and then I will fill in my blanket and close it off. I explained to you previously I normally do it row for row for row, but hey, let's change it up a bit. And then once we've got all 100 blocks, I'm going to show you guys how to do the edge. So here we have it. I went ahead and this is where we started. You remember the 4 blocks we did, and then I went and I continued the section here, alternating between the medium, dark, medium, dark, medium, etc., etc., until I ended with a dark. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blocks. And then on the other side we had the white or the light. So it was medium, light, medium, light, medium, light, medium, light, medium, light. Okay, so also 10 blocks. So this is going to be a 10 by 10 blanket. So I am going to fill in the rest and I will get back to you guys. So there you go, guys. The blanket is now completed. All 100 blocks have been added, or squares. So congratulations if you made it this far. So I will share with you guys in future tutorials some options for a border for this blanket. It's very easy to make a border. So please follow along on my channel, subscribe and like this video if you would like to learn more of this technique and how to finish off your blanket, as well as future techniques. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.